Hello, and good afternoon, everyone. It's Twyler Jenkins here. I am the founder and CEO of the I Am That Woman movement. It's Friday. Happy Friday. That's what I always say. That's because we've made it through another week. So, no matter what this week may have brought you, challenges, obstacles, circumstances, you made it, and God is good, and we are so happy that you have come to join us today. Hopefully you'll be able to join us. I'm not sure why. I think there's some technical difficulties on my Facebook page because I didn't see it posted. So hopefully you guys will see us. Hey, Mo. So glad Coach Mo is with us. All right, Friday. Yes, it's Friday, and guess what? It is September 23rd, and we are like 33 days out from the I Am That Woman retreat. Can you believe it? Are you registered? Are you ready to get away and breathe? Just take some time for you. I know you need it. We've been through so much over these past couple of years. You have got to need a time to reconnect, restore, and refocus. Don't you need some time to take care of you? I mean, come on now. We spend most of our days taking care of everybody else. And especially as women, we are so good about nurturing our communities, our churches, our children, our spouses, everybody but us. So the I Am That Woman movement and retreat is all about you taking care of you. You can't pour from an empty cup. And if you're feeling like your cup is empty, because of all that you continue to give out every single day, all that continues to be on your plate. It's like a rat race sometimes. Now is that time. Now is that time for you to consider the most valuable and invaluable thing that there is on earth. And that would be you. Is your health and wellness challenged every single day, emotionally and mentally? Do you wake up tired, go to bed tired? Are you feeling exhausted? Are you feeling stuck? Are you feeling like I'm not quite sure what I do every day is really my passion and my purpose? Well, join us at the I Am That Woman retreat in a few short, almost 30 days from now, October 26th through the 30th. You see that signage back there so that you can reconnect, restore, renew, refresh, revive. Do all of those R's that will help you get to your next, that will help you come out of all of that stuff that we have been in. Whether it's been a pandemic, grief, loss, depression, it really doesn't matter. Dis-ease, it really doesn't matter. If you need that chance and that time to just get away and let go and let God, if you want a sisterhood, and when I say sisterhood, I mean powerful sisterhood of women who will support you, pour into you, love on you, encourage you. You can share because it's a safe space. If any of this is resonating with your spirit, you need the I Am That Woman movement and retreat. And why do you need it now more than ever? Well, Marguerite Mariama Moore is going to join us today, and she's going to talk a little bit about what she has experienced at the past retreats and what she's planning as a speaker this year to bring to you and to pour into you. She is an amazing woman with so many talents and so much experience about who we are as African American women. You do not want to miss this conversation. It is so good. And without further ado, I am bringing to the stage Dr. Marguerite Mariama. Hello, my sister.
Well, hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness.
How are
What?
you?
Well, you know what? Your rousing introduction was fabulous. Okay, I'm ready to go, girl. I'm ready to go back. I have been involved in this movement from the very beginning.
Okay.
The first year, the second year, and now the third year, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, so the first year it was brand new, and I took a chance. And I thought to myself, oh my God, this is what every Black woman on the planet needs,
Mhm.
a moment to let go of the shackles of our professional lives, our personal lives in some cases,
Yeah.
and to just be the spirit housed inside the body
Yeah.
in connection with other spirits.
Yes.
And it is, as you said, a safe place. It's a place that is nourishing and encouraging, and is filled with love and the opportunity to take in new insights, to
Mhm.
meet new people, unbridled by the old stuff that we lug around every day, that historical and contemporary trauma, right?
Yes. Yes.
Living, living in this wonderful world that we live in that has its frailties and challenges.
Yes, that is what this wonderful world that we live in has. Its frailties and its challenges. That's a good way to put it. Before we start talking about your experience at the past and what's coming up, I'm so excited for you to be a speaker this year. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Dr. Mariama?
Well, I am an activist, artist, and educator. And I grew up in the Jim Crow South and the segregated North during apartheid.
Wow.
So I have the experience of understanding what it's like to be in physical shackles almost, I mean, segregation and all the restrictions. And then to have emerged from that with a sense of unity, because we had, in order to survive during apartheid, we had to be unified because the enemy was commonly known. And so it fostered a sense of unity that I think we've begun to lose over the past few decades. Anyway, so moving out of that into this sort of new world where Negroes had to reinvent themselves into Black and proud, and eventually African Americans, really sort of informed and shaped who I am. I was a part of the Black arts movement. I was a part of the Black Power movement, and those specifics I'll talk about another time. And they're in my bio. But I had the opportunity to be shaped by some powerful Black people and Black women in particular. My one of my mentors was Barbara A. Sizemore, one of the premier educators in the country. She was the first Black woman to serve as a superintendent of schools in Washington, D.C. Lena McLend, who is Thomas A. Dorsey's niece and protege, and he was the founder of gospel music. So I was trained by her. Catherine Dunham, who is the mother of Black dance. She is really the queen of Black dance, and really being the queen of Black dance means she's the queen of dance in America, because the culture, the popular culture that we know today is informed by the anthropological research that she did as a student at the University of Chicago and the anthropology department, and all of her travels all over the world, and how when she brought those dances the dances back from different parts of the diaspora, and created her own dance company, that information, those dances were borrowed by the quote unquote European dance world and infused into Broadway dance and the other popular forms that have actually are actually an outgrowth of that. Hip hop was informed by her work. Hip hop dance is really a byproduct of African dance. There's no doubt about it. So I had a chance to study with those people, and then later on, with my musical training, I studied with Jimmy Sigler, who was Dinah Washington's last accompanist before she died. And so I worked with him for 14 years as a singer. I was also a professor in the CUNY system in New York City for quite a few years, a decade and a half. And I created theory and methodology using the arts as a tool to empower other young people and also adult audiences as well. And all of that, again, is infused by and informed by the Black arts movement, the Black power movement, and my sense of sisterhood and brotherhood that sort of shaped who I am and how I see the world, how I see other women and Black women in particular. I see Black women as sisters. I don't see us in the way that popular culture casts us today, those stereotypes and negative representations that suggest that we fight amongst each other, that we call each other bitches, that we treat each other poorly, that we're competitors. We are not any of that.
No.
We're not that.
Yes.
We come from a loving people. We come from a long line of powerful women and men from the African continent, the first people on the planet, and that's in our DNA. And we have to remember that this period of enslavement, this 500-year period or so period, is just a small drop in the bucket compared to the 300,000 years history that we have as people on this planet.
Yes, ma'am.
We need to borrow from that paradigm to create the next level of our development and to
and that's why I'm so excited.
Versions of who we are.
Yes. That's okay. That's why I'm so excited that you are our speaker this year, because that is what we're talking about. And even I think in a conversation that I was having with you or Dr. Karen Lindsay, I can't remember, but I was saying, I know in my 50 plus years, I've never been in a room where I've just talked about who we are as African American women. Gone through. And like you said, from those shores to these shores, and just, and the stereotypes and, and how we're strong and our strength. But we're going to get into that. I'm going to rewind the tape a little bit, because you mentioned that you've been at the retreat since the inception. And you talked a little bit about your experience at the first retreat. And you even performed in a play with Tina Lifford, who was
the second
year in 2019.
Right.
So you may not have had an expectation in the beginning, because that was our first one. And the second one, tell us a little bit about that experience with Tina Lifford, and then what was the difference? And then we'll hop right on into this year and the expectation and what's going to happen.
Okay, so the first year, I was I was curious, and my expectations weren't that high, but I long for communion with Black women. I long for that, because our energy, when we're together in a loving atmosphere, and when we understand that and lead with love, there's nothing more powerful, there's nothing greater than that experience. That expression of the God self. God is love, right? So if God is love, God lives within us, then we exude that love when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable enough with one another to do it. So what I noticed during the first year was that we had the opportunity to do that. And it was kind of like people were a little bit tentative, in their approach, but eventually, we collectively allowed ourselves to sort of relax into the experience and to allow it to unfold in a very natural, organic way that connected us. And the speakers really assisted in that process. But I still felt that there were people who just didn't quite get it, right? The second year, so when I was invited to come back the second year, and to perform with Tina Lifford, I jumped at the opportunity because I said, okay, I love what she does on Queen Sugar. I love her portrayal of Aunt Vi and the power of that Southern woman power that she exudes. And as an actor, singer, dancer, and educator myself, I thought, okay, I can contribute something to this. Well, not only was I able to perform with her at IATW, but what I noticed happening at IATW was that not only was the tent opening up, that is the emotional tent, the psychological tent, and what I mean by that is people were beginning to sort of relax into the idea of our sisterhood, the synergy of our sisterhood, and to release some of those shackles. But in addition to that, there was a camaraderie that was beginning to develop that allowed us to have that synergy on a at a higher consciousness. And I think that the play helped to set the tone for that, as did many of the speakers. So I think the speakers were wonderful the first year. I think they got better the second year because I think the speakers began to understand the true magnitude of the experience of IATW, that is the potential of IATW to be transformational. And that happened during the second year. And I thought, this is fabulous. I have this wonderful series of photographs with me and three other women that I met there.
Can you see my screen now, Dr. Mariama?
Okay, so that was me. Was that the second year or first?
This is the first year.
That was the first year. I was like, oh God, I'm going to be able to fully be myself. Oh, I'm going to let down my hair, let the shackles off, turn the shackles off, and get down with my sisters. So it was a wonderful experience. So, yeah. So the second year was powerful. So I have this series of photographs with myself and these women, and we're dressed in our white, and we are having such an unbridled, joyful time, having been poured into by a number of different powerful speakers. Yeah. And those speakers were not just pouring into us, but they were allowing us to give energy back to them and to each other, to share the energy. And it was an experiential expression of who we are. So we were engaged, we were participants in the process, which allowed us to really connect on really deep and resonating levels. So that was the thing about the second year that I just absolutely loved. So I thought, Jesus Christ, we've got to keep this going. And then COVID kicked our butts, girl.
I know.
COVID said, don't come out here yet.
I know. So Dr. Mariama was talking about the white party. So we did party truly at the end. We always, for the first year and the second year, we were just, this was the finale. And so we just had a wonderful, wonderful time, and all the participants, and, just kind of sharing some of the images from just this wonderful expression of, like you said, sisterhood and love and camaraderie, and just it was just the most amazing, and continues to be. So that was our past, and it was a wonderful time, and we grew. And this year you are coming as a featured speaker.
Oh, and I am so happy and excited. Girl, please. I've got so much to give, but so much to share. I've been around a long time. So but the beauty of it is I've been sharing my gifts, my experience with people for a long time. As I said, in the university and on stages in different parts of the world and all of that. But there's no greater gift than to give to people who look like me, younger and older. And that's the beauty of having an experience like IATW, because it's intergenerational. Yeah. So we get to learn
Yes.
from each other
Yes.
generationally without judgment.
Yes.
See, and that's the big deal. The thing is, it's the judgment that gets in our way. It's like, well, who do you think you are? Or the competition that's false. Oh, well, I'm more than you are, or the self-aggrandizement. Well, I'm the muckety man. No, no, no. We're all here to learn together, to be in communion with one another, to find out how we can move to the next level of our evolution.
Yes.
And in order to do that, excuse me, in order to do that, we have to be wide open and we have to take off our armor.
Yes.
We have to take off the ego.
Yes.
Leave it at the door.
Yes. Yes.
Ego at the door,
Yes.
so that you can really receive
That's
the
right.
nourishment and
That's
the
right.
encouragement
That's right.
and the love.
Yes.
The love that forwards us to the next level of our conscious development.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. It's about building toward the higher consciousness, right? To being the grand. This is Donald Neil Walsh used. I take borrowing this phrase from Donald Neil Walsh, the author of Conversations with God. But he talks about moving to the grandest version of the greatest vision you hold for yourself, right? Oh, and you can only do that if you put the other stuff aside.
Yes. Yes.
You go aside.
Yes.
The spirit lead.
Yes.
Form and a guide, and also receive, right?
Yes.
Receive from everybody all around. I'm so sorry, my phone
That's
is.
okay. You're fine.
I'm
It's
in
great.
my office, and I put the phone out there. Let me just close the door. I'll be right back.
No worries. What Dr. Mariama is saying is so powerful and it's so true. And that's what I love about this sisterhood is that, women do leave their ego out and we don't come, there's not pompous and circumstance. We truly are just loving on each other and just being there for each other and just making sure that not only are you being poured into, but believe it or not, you have something to pour into us as well. All right, Dr. Mariama. Come on back. Yes.
Sorry about that.
You're fine.
Yeah. It's you know what it is? It is a perfect opportunity to realize aspects of one's potential, right? Because it's a non-threatening environment where people are there to give and to receive.
Yes.
Without the armor, without the ego, without that stuff that gets in our way as women, the toxicity that keeps us from really connecting with one another, from really growing, from the interactions that are inevitably taking shape all around us all the time. But the armor gets in the way.
Gets in the way. So, ladies, if you've never had an experience with other women who you can just, I say all the time, be still, be quiet, and be open. Right. If this is something that you've always yearned to have and you're resonating and something that you need, sometimes things will come our way that we don't even know that we need. And trust me, there are some who didn't grow up in a nurturing environment and aren't familiar with what it means to be innocently loved on. That means, just because I look at you and see a reflection of me, like you said, I don't have to have on this armor of, because I have on a red bottom or, because of what kind of purse label I have. No, that is not what this is about.
Not at all.
This is so about our spiritual, our mental, our emotional, our financial, our physical well-being and loving on each other. And the title of your session this year, I'm super excited about what you're going to be talking about, and it is about some past hurts and pains, but how we move beyond that. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, it's interesting because the title is the story of us from power to peace.
Yes.
I don't want to give away what I'm presenting, but I will tell
Yeah,
you
no,
this,
don't give it all away.
no. I'm going to start from the beginning, and the beginning might be a surprise to a lot of people, but it's a powerful beginning. And then I'm going to take us through from the beginning through various stages to where we are now and how to resolve some of the challenges that we face and difficulties we face on a regular basis,
Yeah.
and how to get out of our own way,
Yes.
because we do that a lot. We bellyache, we have anxiety, we worry, we
Yeah.
have concerns about the next steps and what other people think about us, and again, the self-judgment, of course. But the key is when you understand your power and the roots of your power, and how to be guided by that power, it makes all the difference in the world. So all of that other stuff falls by the wayside.
Wow.
And you have an opportunity to develop relationships with like-minded people, which is how you keep yourself motivated and moving
Yes.
forward,
Yes.
right?
I
'Cause
have literally had women ask, how do I stay motivated? That's why we both work out with Valerie Tyler. And let
absolutely.
me tell you, there are so many mornings that I do not want to get on that Zoom. And I do it 4 times a week. And there are so many mornings. But what I know for sure is there's a sisterhood waiting on me. And there is, I'm not judged by how much energy I have, or what the outcome is. And to your point about, sometimes we don't even know the strength and the power that we get from each other by staying connected.
I know. It's so true. It's so true. And it's interesting because, speaking of Valerie, I call her Valerie the Magnificent, because that is just who she is.
Yes.
She is magnificent from the inside out.
Yes.
She is a loving, beautiful human being who has the body of life.
Yes.
Oh, yes. That is a fine woman.
Yes.
And the beauty of it is that it's not ego driven. It's not ego driven. It is, okay, let me share this with everybody else. Because I want, and what I get from Valerie is, I want y'all to have what I got.
Yes, right?
I want y'all to have what I got.
Yes.
Health, a great body that's strong and that has longevity.
Yeah.
So having someone like that, and getting getting into class with her on camera is fabulous, because there is a sisterhood. There's a wonderful, loving sisterhood of women who are like-minded, who are working toward the same thing, physical health.
Yes.
Because spirit, mind, and body are all connected.
Yeah.
As we get older, we've got to work on that body, and it's not easy, y'all.
Yeah. And I also love that her class is cross-generational, to your point, because the younger we start, is the easier it will be, and we're all going to get older. I mean, you either die young or, older, right? And we all want to. And so, to your point about this sisterhood, this movement, this camaraderie, and what you're talking about, and from the beginning to where we are now, and if some of us don't know how to take off that armor, we're going to talk about that. How to take off that armor and how to be still. And I think we do need to talk about the pain. I think we do need to connect the pieces of where the pain came from our ancestors, to some of the pain that we are carrying now that we really don't have to. It's almost like the believer who if you believe in Jesus dying for your sins, then let go. God, there are some pains that, as African American women, from those shores to these shores, that I believe, Dr. Mariama, that we are carrying, that we don't have to. We're carrying a weight of some stereotypes. We're carrying the weight of some things that have been told to us, and even like maybe even almost brainwashed that we have to believe this because we've never been shaped, molded, or told anything differently. And I think there's some false beliefs, and so you're going to help us get the truth.
Yeah, and you really can't change anything unless you acknowledge it, right? So if you got all that pain, if you got all that trauma, which we all do, I mean, his historical and contemporary trauma is there, whether you think it is or not, because it's in your genetic code. It is. And if you've been able to avoid its pitfalls, good for you. But you might be able to move even farther along.
Yes.
If you acknowledge that they might be there,
Yeah.
I mean, it's such an interesting, liberating thing to do. I was having a conversation earlier today with a new friend whose name is Dr. Doreen Weiss. She's Native American, and we were talking about our shared historical trauma, right? The Native American genocide and the African American enslaved and genocide, right? And how they sort of are on parallel tracks. Mm-hmm. But the key is to acknowledge what happened, to acknowledge what happened and to understand it, which is going to be part of my presentation, but to acknowledge it as not only something that happened to us, but to acknowledge the muscularity that we gained as a result of moving through it, the consciousness, and the gifts that we learned from the lessons we acquired from having gone through trauma and having lived through it and having risen above it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because we have the opportunity now to look back at it and say to ourselves, wow, look what we went through. Yeah. And we're still here? Yeah. What did I learn? Oh, look at those muscles. But you can only do that if you understand what it was.
Yes.
You can only do it if you can only gain, that only becomes power for you if you recognize what it is, what it was, and what it currently still is. And to use it as a power tool to move you forward and beyond your perceived limitations and the external limitations that the world places on you, to your highest consciousness, right?
Yes.
So you need all of it. All of it. All of it is a part of who we are, and it is it's a gift. It's a gift. I mean, African Americans and Native Americans, but African Americans are still here. You and I, as Black women, are still here. Mm-hmm. What our grandparents, great-grandparents, our ancestors went through.
Right.
And if we learn those lessons or have learned those lessons, what does that mean, baby? Mm-hmm. We're gonna be all right. This is the moment for Black womanhood, right?
Yes.
Think about Fonnie Willis in Atlanta, Georgia, waging that battle. Think about Letitia James, my friend, my Letitia James, in New York City, waging that battle. Those women they've got power and they understand that power. Think about Stacey Abrams.
Yes.
She has power. She knows her power.
Yes.
She's unabashedly Black and proud.
Yeah.
When you have that kind of power, and that comes from understanding her history. These are Fannie and certainly Stacey Abrams, the Southern women. So Stacey Abrams is from Mississippi, so she knows some stuff.
Yes, about trauma, through some stuff, right?
and Bonnie Willis is from Georgia. Yeah, my family's hometown. We know something about trauma now.
Yeah.
So when you have that kind of understanding, and you uses it as a power tool for your own ascension,
Mhm.
oh, there's no
Woo!
stopping us. No stopping us.
Wow, I am so excited listening to what you are saying that you're going to be sharing about from our pain to our promise. And after interviewing Dr. Karen last week, who comes before you, listen, ladies, I just you all we are going to come back so empowered. And even at the previous retreats, we have testimonials of women coming back, writing their books, running for office,
I
you
love
know,
it.
starting their new careers, just jumping out on faith and being empowered, as they say sometimes, to do the daggone thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
if
yeah.
you are stuck and you need some empowerment to go out and do what you've always wanted to do. First of all, you're going to find it if you don't know what it is. But secondly, if you know what it is and you need something to propel you in the work that you're doing, you're going to get that. And then when we do this deep dive into who we are, let go of some of those stereotypes, that armor, take it off and get empowered by the pain, right? Because you said that first we have to acknowledge it. And so acknowledging that process that we've gone through, but using that process to power us and empower us to do those things that our ancestors did, but in a way that isn't a struggle. Because
Right.
I'm ready to let go of. I don't even like using the S word,
I
but
don't either. I don't either.
oftentimes,
I don't either. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes we find ourselves trying to push through something. It's not as easy, but I think a lot of that comes from our consciousness and our subconscious.
Mhm.
I think a lot of that comes from our belief system that's been built and,
Mhm.
and created, and some of those false beliefs of who we are and what we're able to do. Go ahead, Dr. Mariama.
It's interesting as you say that. I'm thinking of Cicely Tyson,
Mhm.
and there's a statement that she made where she says, "Black women at the bottom of the rung, and holding everybody else up. The black man on top, and the white woman on top of him, and the white man on top. But we holding on, lifting everybody else up." Well, yeah,
Mhm.
but it's time to let go.
Mm.
Y'all on your own now, because
Mm.
it's our turn, right?
Mhm.
I'm not holding nobody else up. I'm going to make sure that I hold myself up
Yes, ma'am.
to the level where I'm supposed to be, because, quite frankly, the first people on the planet, and science has proven this, were who? Women.
Mhm.
And the first human on the planet was a black woman
Mhm.
in Ethiopia.
Mhm.
So if that's my heritage, what does that mean about my muscularity?
Uh-huh.
So I'm tired of holding y'all up. I ain't nursing no more babies.
That ain't mine.
That ain't mine. I ain't nursing no more babies. It's my turn. It's
Mhm.
my turn. Now, the beauty of it being our turn is that we get to shine as the example for others.
Yes,
Rather
ma'am.
than holding them up,
Yes.
we shine and we become the example.
There's that power.
We show by being. We
Yes.
show by being, so we can let go of some of that propaganda. The
Yes.
woman, the
Oh,
superwoman, she's got
yeah.
to do everything. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
right. All right, Chaka Khan. I'm every woman, but I ain't doing it all no more.
And I'm definitely going to do it for me
Right,
first, right? We've not been taught to do it for us first.
right,
We've
right,
not
right.
been taught
Exactly,
to put our oxygen mask on first. We have not
exactly,
been taught to love ourselves first. We have been
exactly.
taught to love everybody else, take care of everybody else.
Right.
We've been taught to make sure that we, our hand may have been slipping off of the ladder as we were trying to pull somebody else
That's
up
right.
at
Right.
our own expense.
Right.
And it's time for us to stop suffering the consequences, because that's why we have the highest rate in breast cancer and ovarian cancer and heart disease, is because that strength, I can't imagine what it would be if we didn't have what we have.
Right.
But
Right.
because of that strength that we do have, it just creates all this stress and anxiety and pressure that we have to. And
Right.
no, we don't have to. We really can take care of ourselves first and make some critical decisions in our path to acknowledge that I love me enough.
Right.
I love
Right.
me enough.
Right.
And that I am enough. I'll never forget when Tina Lifford took us through that session when we had to pair off with another sister. And there was a statement that she wrote out. And me and the sister that I paired off with, both of us, was talking about feeling from our childhood that we weren't enough.
Right. Right.
In that measurement, right? I grew up in a very all-white community. And so always being in this mindset of not being enough because of how I was being compared, or even some of my brothers had stereotypes put on them as young Black boys, and my great nephew was going through it now because of, they automatically have learning disabilities, or what have you. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but what I'm trying to say is letting go of not being enough, because oftentimes the measurement that society has, the measurement that even competitively within our culture, skin color and the material possessions, and the things in which we measure ourselves, equating to not being enough. We got to let go of that. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we're addressing that and making the change and doing the work, because I tell women all the time, don't come to this retreat if you're not ready to change.
Right. Right. Right.
You're just making an investment on another vacation. But
Right.
if you're ready to change the trajectory of your life, or to even create more empowerment in what you're already doing, this is some powerful stuff, Dr. Mariama. This is some powerful stuff.
It is powerful. And getting back to what you were saying about the quotidian and the materialistic, I mean, that's such that's a basic level of life, right? All that extrinsic stuff, that defines the shell that we're in, right? And that's not to say that I don't like style. I don't like dressing. I do.
Oh, absolutely.
I like all that, but it's not who I am. It's how I package myself to express my spirit full out. So it's part of the spiritual expression. It's the externalized expression of my spirit. That's what it is for me. But it's important that we understand that at this moment in time, we're moving from the information age to the age of conception, right?
Yes.
So when you move from one age to another, age of Aquarius, from the age of information to the age of conception, where we're dealing with the right hemisphere of the brain as opposed to the left hemisphere of the brain, which is linear, into a more expansive, inclusive, humanistic side of the brain, which, and Daniel Pink in his book, which one is it? A Whole New Mind, talks about the age of conception and how we're now moving out of the information age into an age where story, design, meaning, symphony, play, empathy, and what else? That's it. Yeah, those are the areas that are going to help us move into the interconnectedness of our humanity. And that's where we have to be right now.
Yes,
it's not about the external stuff. No. It's about who we are from the inside.
Yes.
And making sure that inside the inside of us is as healthy as the outside, right?
Absolutely. And that's the essence of
Yeah,
this retreat. That is literally what
yeah,
I am trying to get across. Go
right.
on and register now, ladies. I'm telling you, I am that woman movement.org. You do not want to miss this powerful speaker, Dr. Marguerite Mariama. She's going to be joining us on Thursday, October the 27th. Her session is in the morning. I believe it's maybe 11 to 12. I don't have it right in front of me. I should have all of this memorized by now as many times as I've seen it and worked on it. But it's going to be so powerful. You don't want to miss this sisterhood. You don't want to miss an opportunity to take off your own armor and just be still and be quiet and be open and be loved and learn to love yourself and let go and let God and be all that you can, should, and want to be. And you're moving us beyond our pain to our promise, and how we use that pain, acknowledge that pain, but allow that pain to help us take our own selves into consideration first, because we've done a really good job at building this country, taking care of this country, and that's why they mad. But we ain't gonna get down. We're not gonna go down that road.
We're not gonna go that. Not right now.
Down that road. We're gonna stay on the path of healing. We're gonna stay on the path of purpose, and we're gonna stay on the path of self-empowerment. Any closing remarks that you want to share? Anything else?
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing. We also want to stay on the path of joy, right?
Yes.
Joy. Oh, there's nothing like joy-filled love, right? I mean, love that's filled with joy is not only engaging, but it's empowering.
Yes.
And so we get to sing and we get to dance together and we get to laugh.
Yes.
And have fun together.
Yes,
and dress up and look great together. we get to have the diva moments too.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I've been sharing some pictures from our first retreat, and ladies, I'm telling you, it's amazing. We're going to take a little commercial break and show you all that video again real quick. Right. So that you know what to expect at the Hilton Marco Island 5-star resort. We have discounted rates. Let me tell you, those rooms are going for $500 and $600, and ours is only $200 and some dollars. So you do not want to miss this 5-star experience. Go ahead, Diovante. Show them what they're going to expect. Well, y'all didn't know. Now you know. Listen, we are not leaving anyone out. Call us 312-399-6801. Go ahead and register. Get that $300 non-refundable deposit in. I am that woman movement.org. You do not want to miss this opportunity. Dr. Mariama, I appreciate you. I'm so happy and honored that you are coming as a speaker this year. I cannot wait. Anything else that you want to share about why you're
here? I'm excited about it. I'm excited to meet new women and to share the power of the experience with a whole swath of probably new and old friends, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will be returning because that's what happened. The first year, you got more people and the same people returning because, it was just intoxicating.
Yes.
It was intoxicating joy that we experienced together.
It is definitely intoxicating. Here's a couple of other pictures of that intoxicating joy that we can expect to receive, expect to have, expect to experience. We're gonna miss them, but we have so many people, beautiful people coming, and we're just laughing and having a good time. And you're right. I think we have. There's how many did Shirley Roach? Shirley Roach is coming back. Let's see if I can flip through some pictures. Dr. Karen is trying to come back. Some of these women are returning there's Kim Coles from last year, and 2018. So it was an amazing experience. I just want the ladies out there to know, listen, we're here to love on you, pour into you, support you. It's just a very, very, very rewarding and good time. You don't want to miss it. Go ahead and register. I am that woman movement.org. Thank you so much for your time today. I'll see you in class on Monday, working it out.
You will. I'll be there. Love you, darling.
Get it together. Love you too. Thank you so much. All right. We had Dr. Mariama Moore today, you guys. She is one of our speakers at the I Am That Woman Movement and Retreat coming up October 26th through the 30th. You guys see that pool back there? That's where we're going to be. So go ahead and register. You don't want to miss it. It's an amazing experience. If you have any questions, you can call us directly at 312-399-6801. And don't forget, every Monday through Friday, we offer you an opportunity to stay connected spiritually. It is our morning mindfulness prayer and meditation from 5:30 to 6:30. You just have to call in 605-313-5104. Access code is 345235#. So join Dr. Lockett and I on Monday so you can be poured into, loved on, encouraged, and supported. Thank you so much for joining today. Thanks, Shai. Thanks, Dorothy. Thanks, Monique. Thanks, everybody else who I may not have seen your names, but you're here. Have a very blessed weekend. And until next Friday, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.